Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by Layla Cara herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Improving Your Thoughts by Freeing Yourself, the space where we dive into healing, growing, and showing up fully in our relationships, especially the one with you, yourself. So we're going to talk about you today. That's what our topic is going to be about. Why you need to take yourself seriously first, so others will too. I'm your host, Layla Cara, as you know who I am. And before we get started, I gotta make an announcement. So I've been very busy, and I know you're probably like, when is she going to do another podcast? Remember I told you this year, 2025, was going to be over relationships, but I also told you that it was not going to be as easy as it used to be for me to do a podcast weekly. So instead, I would try my best to do it once a month. I want to at least give you that one, at least once a month. I want to at least give you that. So, my announcement this time around, I am officially a luxury shoe and accessory designer. I design luxury shoes for anyone who, excuse my dog, that was Cinnamon. He's been bad. I mean, for real. So I design luxury shoes for anyone who is into fashion. Check it out. Go to imagingcoaching.com/style. That's imagingcoaching.com/style. And check out my collection. See if there's anything there that catches your eye. I'm not asking you to buy anything, but what I am asking for you to do is give a review of what you see. If you see anything that you like, just say, hey, this is nice. I like it. And whatever else you want to say about it. But it would be awesome if you were to buy something. Now, I know you know about the tariffs and everything. Free shipping, no tariffs for the USA, Canada, Europe. Okay? So those areas, no tariff. And let's continue on with our podcast. So, have you ever been in a situation, romantically or otherwise, where you feel like people were just not respecting your time, not honoring your word, or even their own word, okay? Not taking your boundaries seriously? I've been there. And here's what I've realized. People treat you how you treat you. Did you know that? Well, you set the tone for how you're going to be treated by the way you treat yourself. If you disrespect yourself, then what you think others are going to do? They're going to disrespect you too. You might get that person every now and then that see your worth, even though you do not see your own worth, that they might respect you anyway because of the type of person they are. They're giving you the benefit of the doubt. And they are also respecting themselves so they can respect you. But that's not the case most of the time. It's very rare. You don't get that happening too often. You will get more people disrespecting you than you will get them to respect you if you do not respect yourself. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is one of those episodes where I want you to look deep. And I mean, look deep within yourself. Because you have to understand that we're living in a time where people just don't care. And maybe you're one of those. Maybe you're one of those people that you just don't care. But it will come a time in your life when you will care. And it starts with yourself. When you brush off your own feelings, minimize your own needs, consistently put yourself, and you want to put yourself last, or you put everyone else ahead of you without boundaries, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're saying this is what they're hearing, and this is what you're actually doing. You're saying to yourself, it's okay. I'll settle. I'll shrink. I'll wait. But here's the truth. Respect doesn't start with other people. It starts with you. Let me break it down for you. I want to give you the opportunity to be able to hear the thoughts that goes into your own mind when situations occur. But I want you to understand that taking yourself seriously, what does that even mean? You might not even know what that means. You might be like, okay, well, I do take myself seriously, but let's see if that's so. Taking yourself seriously means showing up for yourself like someone who matters. The same way you show up for someone else, do you show up for yourself like that? Let me give you some examples. When you say, tomorrow I am going to cut out sugar, I don't want to eat sugar tomorrow, but you know you got a craving for it. But at the same time, do you reason with yourself and still eat that candy bar? Or do you really say, not today? I'm not eating that candy bar today. I'm going to put that candy away. I'm not touching it. That's showing up for yourself. You really put yourself and your needs first instead of making excuses. Do you honor your words to yourself? A lot of people don't. I know a lot of people who don't. They will say, for instance, let's say you're in a relationship with someone, opposite sex, or even same sex, it don't matter. Y'all get into a fight, and your partner call you out of your name, and you say, you know what? I'm not going to allow this person to do this ever again. So the next time you call me out of my name, I'm done with you. Well, do you actually keep that word? Do you honor that word? So the next time it happens, do you leave that person alone? Or do you make excuses to stay with them, even though they disrespected you for the umpteenth time? Do you keep your promise to yourself? We already went over the candy bar situation, but it's not even just that. It's not even about the candy bar. It's more, it's deeper than that. When you say you're going to do something and you actually keep that word to yourself, it makes it easier for you to keep your word and your promise to other people. Once you lie to yourself, it's easy to lie to others. Even if the other person get in your face and call you out on it, you still have it in you to do what you say you're not going to do. You say you're not going to do it, but you do it anyway. So you're not keeping your word. So that's what I'm saying. Do you keep your promise to yourself? Here's another one. We talk about this a lot. The boundary situation. Setting boundaries is very important. Do you set boundaries and keep them, or do you set boundaries and you apologize for your boundaries? You don't need to apologize for them. I want you to know that. Those are your boundaries. What was I watching? I was watching something on TV, and this girl was talking to a guy that she was on a date with. They had just started dating, first time, and he asked her, what are your boundaries? Like, what line I can't cross? And she told him, I don't have any boundaries. This is a guy asking a female this question now. And she said, I don't have any boundaries. And he looked at her strangely, like, are you serious? Are you kidding me right now? So when he did his commentating alone confession by himself, he said to the camera person, the producer, he said, oh, I don't want to talk to her because if she don't have boundaries, then she needs to go home. And he said, I need someone with boundaries, because that means there's a line that she will cross every single line, and she will allow others to cross the line with her too. So I can't trust her. And that is a situation that it goes beyond narcissistic. It goes way beyond narcissistic. You have to know how to make sure your boundaries are never crossed. And if they are, you have to nip it in the bud. You have to say something about it. It has to be dealt with. So, do you give yourself dreams? And I'm talking about goals. And do you prioritize them? Do you wake up every day thinking about it, and not only thinking about it, figuring out a plan to work at it? Or better yet, are you working at it? Because sometimes we can make these goals and we would write it all down, and then that's it. It stops right there. It doesn't go any further. Well, do you give your dreams real attention? That's what you need to pay attention to. Prioritizing rest is a big deal so you can accomplish your dreams. If a person tell you, oh, I sleep when I'm dead, well, they might be dead sooner than they're supposed to, because you are supposed to get some rest. You are supposed to get the adequate amount of sleep, and not only just sleep, taking a break from what you're doing. If you do too much of something, you have to take a break. You know, I know people who work every single day. They don't take a day off. And my husband is one of those people. And I be on him so much about, okay, you need to take a break. He don't work all day long, but the point is that he's doing the same thing every day. So it's like, it comes a time when you need to just chill. Relax. Tell some of your clients, can you push your workout session to another day? I mean, they will understand because they keep hunting you down. So evidently, you're doing a good job. So they're not going to be mad if you take a break a day, at least one day a week. Come on. So what I'm saying is, go after your dreams and do what you need to do, but you have to learn how to prioritize your rest. Now, how about this? Do you speak up when you're hurt? When someone hurts your feelings, do you speak up about it? Or do you just keep it in? Or how about this? You talk to someone else about it instead of the person who actually hurt you. Now, we have that habit bad. Now, I ain't gonna say everybody, but there's a lot of people who do. Someone come along, hurt your feelings. You don't tell that person, you tell someone else. And then that person, of course, you're venting. But the problem is that if the person who hurt you don't know that they hurt you, then how would they know that that was a boundary that they shouldn't have crossed? You never told them. They need to know that they hurt you, and you need to let it be known that it hurt your feelings and that they should not do it again. Okay? Just remember that it's not about being arrogant or having your ego stroke. It's about alignment. You walk in your own truth so others don't feel they can rearrange what you actually have going on. Now, I do want to talk about time boundaries because I mentioned this before, and I realized that people will disrespect your time. To me, that's still disrespectful, because if you know that you are supposed to be meeting with someone at a particular time and they happen to be late or whatever, that should be a boundary for you. Let it be known. Don't cross that boundary no more. You don't get this opportunity again. And let's say that you do give them the opportunity again. You have to understand that if you let them keep doing it, they will continue and it will not stop. And matter of fact, it'll get worse. Sometimes that 30 minutes might turn into an hour. That hour may turn into an hour and a half. And then before you know, it's a no-show. They don't show up at all. So let it be known that your time is valuable, okay? Now, let's talk about the romantic relationship mirror. The mirror with yourself. Yeah. Romantic relationships are one of the greatest mirror we'll ever see, that we will ever have. If you consistently and you continuously give and not receive, I'm telling you right now, if you're over-accommodating, if you over-explaining yourself to who you're with, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, wife, fiance, you know that, it is not going to work. Feeling ignored or feeling undervalued, it's not just about them. No, it's not. It's about you accepting you. If you are feeling this way, something is going on with you, and you need to find out why. Are you feeling like you have to always over-accommodate, or you have to over-explain yourself for your significant other to understand you, or even feeling ignored? If you feel ignored, and let's say, for instance, that you're talking to your partner, and that for some reason they're just not acknowledging your feelings, I'm going to tell you right now, that part has a lot to do with you, but it also has something to do with them too. And I know you're probably like, what you mean got to do with me? They ignore me. No, let me explain now. Let me explain. So, for instance, here's an example. I like to give examples. It helps out. When I'm talking to my husband and I know that I need him to acknowledge what I'm talking about, and he switches the subject to something different, I immediately say something right then and there. I don't wait till later that night or the next day to bring it up, because he might forget what I'm talking about, or don't even remember, don't even know. Like, he probably didn't even recognize I did it. So I would prefer to say it in the moment. That helps him to see what I'm talking about. So if I say something, I'm talking about something, and he just can, and he have done this before quite a few times, where I'm talking to him and I'm trying to like get whatever it is I'm saying out, and he would just be like, and then he just talk about something different. I would immediately be like, you didn't hear nothing I said, did you? Oh, yes, I did. Then tell me, what did I say? Because I know you're not paying attention to me. I need your undivided attention right now. Please give me your undivided attention. Whatever it is that you're doing, I need you to put it down or stop and just listen to me for a minute. I'm not going to be long-winded, because sometimes I can be long-winded, and I know that's part of the reason why he does it. But I have to shorten it. And I have been told in previous relationships that I be long-winded. I have been told this. So I do believe it, because I get it from my mama. She's long-winded. And I be sitting there listening to her. And I be like, oh my goodness, do I do this? So I'm learning to stop. And this is why I'm telling you, this is part of you too. So figure out what it is that's keeping them from wanting to pay attention to you. And you might want to start working on that. Did that help? I hope that helped. We'll see. So let's be real. We teach people how to love us based on how we love ourselves. If you tolerate disrespect, if you tolerate emotional neglect, if you tolerate inconsistency, people ain't doing what they supposed to do on a consistent basis. They do it sometimes and then sometimes they don't, and you okay with that? You're signaling to them that it is acceptable. They're thinking that it's okay. And matter of fact, they might even say that to you when you bring it up. They're like, well, you had never had a problem with this before, so why is it a problem now? So this is why you have to say something about what is troubling you, all right? But when you raise your standards for how you treat yourself, something powerful happens. It's just like magic. It just, boom, a switch. Something changes. People start rising. Yes, you start getting more people attracted to you. But it works both ways. People also start falling away. Those who fall away are those who have been there to use you, who have been there to abuse you, and who have been in your life to take from you. They need to fall away. Let them go. But you shine this radiant shine, this sunshine that comes off of you, this glow, when you learn to raise your standards. When you raise your standards and you treat yourself how you want to be treated, they will see it. And then they will recognize that, okay, she ain't holding no punches. I am not going to take her for granted, or I'm not going to take him for granted. Oh, he's serious about himself, so I have to take him serious too. So based on how well you treat yourself, they can meet you there. Don't be worrying about how they are. No, don't worry about that. What you need to do is focus on you. So remember, the way you treat yourself, that's how others going to treat you. Respecting you is what needs to happen. That's how it happens. When you respect yourself, they will respect you. So let me tell you something. Here's a hard truth. Yeah, it's a hard truth with a soft landing, so I don't want to be too hard on you, right? People can only respect what you model consistently. What they see you do and how you treat yourself consistently, then they will understand it and they will respect it. Okay? Repeat. What you repeat is what they're going to have from you. So let's say, for instance, that you constantly bent over, twerking at every single party's ladies. Twerking could be fun, but it can also be disrespectful. So it depends on which way you're doing it and when you're doing it. You at a respectful place, that means that you're at the right place at the right time doing your twerking, that's fine. But if you at a spot where children are around or elderlies are around or it's not even a party, I'm like, come on. It's just what it is. A person see you out of character doing things that is not appropriate, they're going to treat you the way they see you. You might say, I'm not like that, but what they see is what they get. Especially if they don't know you. People are so quick to judge, I'm telling you. And if you don't want to be judged in a negative way, then you need to know how to carry yourself in the right way. Now, what is the right way? That's a good question. The right way is the way you want to be treated. That's the right way. If you want people to respect you, then respect yourself. If you don't care about people respecting you, you don't care about being disrespected, you might not call it disrespect, but to another it is, then it is what it is. Okay? So if you communicate clearly and hold space to your emotions, people will learn to do the same. Or maybe they just need to be left behind. It all depends. If you walk away from drama and protect your peace, people would think twice about bringing chaos to your door. Did you know that? So I walk away from drama. It's just what I am. I don't care for all that craziness. If you a person that always have some type of chaos in your life, you're always fighting, you're always arguing with someone, it's always an issue, I don't care to have you around me. I don't care if we're related, co-workers. I don't even care if you're my best friend. We're not going to communicate that often. Matter of fact, it's going to get less and less and less. And if you're a person that I don't have to deal with, I will not deal with you. And that's because being dramatic, drama, it brings different type of elements into your life. For me, for instance, if I'm around someone who's always full of drama and I have to listen to you talk about your dramaticness and stuff like that, you give me a headache. And I know I suffer from migraine. So the last thing I need is your drama giving me a headache. So I am one of those ones who will walk away from you, okay? Just letting you know. A little drama here and there, you can't avoid. It happens. No one can escape drama forever now. But on a consistent basis, yes, you can. You can do something about that. But if you consistently second guess yourself, I want to tell you, over apologizing or ignoring your own standards, people will also do the same. Did you know? I am teaching you how to respect yourself. I'm teaching you how to treat yourself. That way others would do the same. You can't tell someone to respect you when you don't respect you. So respect is taught. Consistent creates credibility. So being consistent about what it is that you want, how you want to be treated, consistent. I tell people a lot of the times, pick your battles. If you know that somebody is doing something that you just don't want to deal with, then that's a fight to fight. And that's a fight to fight every single time this person do it. Just saying. Pick your battles. If you realize that it's a fight that you don't want to have to deal with every single time, then you might not want to even pick that as a fight. That might be a battle you don't want to have to deal with. But sometimes, even though you don't feel like dealing with that, because a lot of people like to avoid conflict. But did you know that some conflict is really good? Because a lot of the times it brings resolution. And you realize that if you never would have had that conflict, you would never resolve your issue. Because when you are having a conflict, you're able to express yourself in a way that you would not do if you're not teed off. If you ain't pissed off, or you ain't mad, or you ain't fed up, then you're not going to say anything. You let it happen. You just let it keep happening because you want to avoid conflict. But if you get to a point where enough is enough because you have had enough, baby, let me tell you, that is when you are able to say what you need to say, how you want to say it. And guess what? Most of the time, a resolution is going to be made because the person feel you. They feel that energy coming off of you, and they realize that you are serious. So the next time you say, I want to be taken seriously in love, ask yourself.
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Cara style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarolstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like. Do you take yourself seriously in love? Yeah, the next time you say I want to be taken seriously in love, you want people to take you seriously, you need to ask yourself that question. Do I take myself seriously in love? And if your answer is no, then you're not going to be taken seriously. But if your answer is yes, then you will be taken seriously. Do you prioritize your peace, your voice, your healing, and your joy? That is a question that you need to answer. And if you say no to any of those, then you are not going to be taken seriously in love. This is the way you are going to be able to be taken seriously when you are in love. You have to prioritize your peace. That's first. Don't let nobody take your peace away. You have to prioritize your voice. Your voice must be heard. When you feel a certain way and you want to speak on it, you must be able to say those things and get it out. Okay? Do you prioritize your healing? You must prioritize your healing. If you're hurting, especially if you've just gotten out of a relationship, you might want to step back from a new relationship and get yourself right. And if you're with somebody who's a friend and they want to be with you and be more than friends, they have to respect the fact that you need to heal. And if they're pressuring you, then they're not the one, because they should understand that you need healing and you need time. People do not heal overnight. It takes work. First off, you have to work on your healing. It ain't just time don't heal all wounds. I know some people think it does, but it doesn't. Because sometimes time suppresses your wound. And it suppresses it so deep to where one day it comes out. And it comes out in the worst way. And you didn't even expect it to come out. But it comes out. And all it takes is a trigger for that to come out. That's why you need time to heal. And you need to prioritize your joy. What is it that brings you joy? Whatever that may be, it needs to be a part of your routine, your daily life. If you're the type of person that likes to go on girls' trips, well, you need to be able to continue that. If you're the type of person that like to go to brunch with your friends, then you need to be able to do that. If you're the type of person that like to go play basketball or whatever, you need to be able to do that. If you want to sit down and play the video games, well, you need to be able to do that. Basically, you shouldn't stop with bringing you joy just because you're in a relationship with somebody. It should never stop. So, let's talk about how you can make all this happen. I just told you what you need. Now I want to teach you how to do it. Because it's one thing to be able to know the answer, but don't know how to apply it. I want to actually help you apply it, okay? So, here's how to start today. Not tomorrow, but today, all right? Here are 3 quick things you can do this week. First, you want to check your inner dialogue. What you say to yourself. How do you talk to yourself? Would you let someone talk to you the way you talk to you? You might would, because you talk to yourself like that anyway. So how about this? Would you let someone talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself? If not, then you need to shift. Yeah, you need to shift. The way you talk to your best friend, you need to talk to yourself the same way. If you tell your best friend, girl, you beautiful. Well, you need to tell yourself that. I am beautiful. All right? If you tell your partner, your homeboy, whatever, man, you look a fly. Man, you might not say that because most guys don't do that. But let's just say that you encourage your boy and he's like going up for a job or whatever, and he's like, man, I don't know about this, and you say, man, you the best person for this job. I'm telling you, you know what you're doing. You need to say that to yourself. You the best person for the job. I'm the best person for the job. I know what I'm doing. Okay? So here's another one. Audit your boundaries. What you allow, and I'm telling you, the way you are and the way you set your boundaries is very important. So what you are allowing to happen to you, you need to reevaluate. You have to audit it. It's time to reevaluate what is healthy and what is not healthy. You want to seriously restart. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Restart. It's time to put a restart on what you're doing. Start with one small boundary and honor it fully. Whatever that boundary is, you might, let's say for instance, your boundary might be, I don't like someone calling me after 10 p.m. That's usually old people stuff. But you might be that one that you might say, you know what, I have to be at work at 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning. So I need this rest. So my boundary is that I don't want you calling me after 10 p.m. And then the person call you after 10 p.m. What are you going to do about that? Are you going to answer the phone because you have FOMO? Fear of missing out? Don't know what they're going to talk about? That's what the answer machine is for. That's also what text messages is for. So if it's really important, send a text. That's what I tell people. It's really important, leave a message. But I literally shut my phone down at 10 o'clock. That's what I do. I put my phone on silent and I put it on sleep mode. That's what I do. I don't want to hear my phone ring. Especially if I'm at home with my family. If I'm with my husband and my son, I don't need my phone to ring. I just don't. And I always tell myself, what can I do that I can't do tomorrow? And let's say it's an emergency, something happened, God forbid, something happened to my mom or whatever. She lives in San Antonio, so I'm not going to be able to get to her no time soon, no way. You know, that's why she have people living with her. They can take care of that. And then I will see and talk to you tomorrow when I wake up. Now, that comes from something that I went through. I went through a traumatic situation. And I'm not going to be long-winded about it, but I want to share it with you. And this is the reason why my boundary can't not be crossed when it comes to the phone call after 10. So I was married to my first husband. And my phone rang at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't answer. And then it rang again back to back. And it rang back to back, back to back, back to back. Till finally I picked up. It was my dad on the other end. Some people don't know how to break news. It's just what it is. They don't know how. Some people just ain't got it in them, okay? And my dad is one of those people. He don't know how to break the news. He just let out the information. So when he opened his mouth to tell me what he was calling me about, he said, Alex just killed herself. So Alex at the time was my 16-year-old cousin. And I was 23 years old at this time. And he was like, Alex just killed herself. And I said, what? Keep in mind, I'm asleep and I'm just waking up and I just don't know what is going on. This gotta be a joke. You know, I'm like, I'm dreaming, right? I think I'm dreaming. I'm still not alert, but I did come into this shock factor. Like, did I really hear what I just thought I heard? And I say, what, Dad? He say, Alex, he just hung himself. And I was like, okay, hold up. Did he do this on purpose or was it an accident? He said, no, it was on purpose. So he committed suicide. And he said, yeah. I said, is he really dead or you just telling me he dead? He said, no, he's really gone. The colonel, they just came and took his body out of the house at my uncle's house at the time. And I don't know. I went numb. I went numb. It was almost, like I said, like a dream. I couldn't really grasp that it was real. So I stayed up the rest of the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep. And then I was just in my thoughts. And so about 7 o'clock that morning, I called one of my cousins to confirm if it was true or if my dad was just hallucinating or something, you know. Not saying he hallucinated, but just saying like maybe he had a bad dream or something, you know. And my cousins were crying, and I knew them because they was crying. I could hear about in the background, screaming and going on. So it's real. So because of that, I don't answer my phone after 10 p.m. And for a whole year, I couldn't sleep. For a whole year, I was having insomnia. Could not sleep at night. I just couldn't do it because I was afraid of getting another phone call that someone else did something, that something else happened. Because bad things usually happen late at night. So, of course, it happened in daytime too, but you know what the saying goes. And because of that, I just don't answer my phone after 10. Don't call me after 10 p.m. unless I specifically said it was okay and I'm expecting your call. That's a difference. So that's just what I'm talking about, these boundaries. And in my family, they know. They understand. They don't call after 10. They sure don't. My mama don't call me after 10. No one. My own husband, he'll call after 10. Because he'll call me if I'm at a hotel, I'm at work. Then he'll call and he'll tell me, I'm going to call you. And I said, okay. And then he'll text, well, I'm going to call you. I said, okay. You know, it's been so many years. That happened in 2002. And here it is, 2025, and it still affects me. And that's why I tell people, did I get counseling for it? No, I didn't. That's why I'm counseling y'all, because I realize that if you don't get counseling for the things that happen to you, it will affect you on and on and on. Now, did I talk about it? Yes, I talked about it a lot. So that was my therapy. I did not hold it in. I did not keep it to myself. I expressed myself, and I expressed myself very well. Don't call me after 10 o'clock because I'm not answering. Anything that happens between the hour of 10 and 7 in the morning, I can find out when I wake up. So, yeah. So here's another one. Follow through with you. You want to follow through with yourself. So if you say you were going to do something like rest or write in your journal or go for a walk, whatever that may be, do it. Build trust with yourself. You want to start building trust with you. Once you build that trust with you, then others will respect you, because what that is called discipline. That's what it's called. We admire people who have strong discipline. And truth be told, that's not a skill. It ain't even a gift. It's a promise that you kept. That's all it is. A promise that you kept to yourself. You said you're going to do something, you did it. So you literally kept your promise. Everyone should be able to do that. We all should be able to do that. But it takes practice. It takes work. Now, if you fall off and you don't do it, don't beat yourself up and be like, man, I didn't keep my promise to myself. No, you really have to just say, okay, well, then I'm going to get on it tomorrow. And then you go for it tomorrow. And keep it in the forefront of your mind, okay? So listen, you are the blueprint. You are the standard. When you treat yourself like someone is worthy of love, respect, and consistency, others have no choice but to follow or to fall off. There's no in between. They're either going to follow what you got going on with yourself, or they're going to fall off and move on. Don't be afraid to let people go. That is one of the biggest issues that a lot of us have. We get so accustomed to someone and their ways and their attitudes and stuff like that, to where we end up accepting exactly what it is that they're doing. We end up accepting that. And it's not cool. It's not, because what is wrong is wrong. I want you to know that. And what is right is right. So don't be afraid to allow someone to move on with themselves. You know, I had this friend, and we was friends for 10 years. We used to go out partying together. I enjoyed her company. I would go to her house. She would come to mine. I even lived with her for about a year, and she lived with me for like 5 months. And when I'm saying like living, like during these times we're going through our things or whatever. And we ended up falling off on friendship. When the friendship was over, the very first time, I wasn't used to people leaving me. I was used to having friends for generations. You know what I mean? For years. Like my best friend, I call her my sister. We've been friends for 30 years, since high school, since I was in high school. And we're still friends to this day. And I mean, I talk to her almost every day. I talk to her today. You know, I say almost because I try to give her a break and not call, and she does the same because I'm married and everything out of respect. But if it was up to us, we would talk all the time, every day, all the time. And I mean, for a very long time, we were talking for hours and hours and hours. You know, it's like, what can you possibly be talking about? Everything. Okay. And so, but we don't gossip or nothing like that. We be talking about business and our children, you know, all that stuff, work, just stuff like that. We talk about ourselves. We keep it on ourselves. So the thing is that when me and this individual, when we fell off on friendship, I had a hard time letting her go because I felt like the love for me was there. I still love her, you know, and I felt like, why did we fall off? But when I evaluate things, so before the evaluation, let's go back some more. I end up calling her and saying, hey, let's sit down, let's do lunch, and let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's find out what the problem is. We end up doing that, and we never talked about what the problem was. That was the first sign right there that I should not have went back and went backwards. Because my attention was to get to the root of the problem of why we fell off in the first place, why our friendship ended. But we talked about everything but that. And I have to admit, I was nervous sitting there in front of her to talk to her because I didn't want to argue. See, I didn't want that. That was me during that time. I didn't want the conflict because personally, I know myself. And if it would have came to being a conflict, especially at the place that we was at, we was in an establishment, it could have gotten ugly. And I didn't want it to get ugly, you know? And because I had went through something, I know what I went through. And I really am debating to tell y'all the story of what happened, but I think I should. I tell you everything else. Why not tell you this? So what happened? What had happened was me and her, we went out, and at this particular time, remember I said I was living with her, right? So at this particular time, she had moved in her children's uncle, the brother of her kid's dad. She had 3 children. They grown now, but at the time they was teenagers. And she had moved him into the house with us without even consulting me. She didn't ask me was I okay with it or not. And I understood it was her place and I was living with her, but I was also paying her rent to live with her, you know? And I was in transition I used to work at the prison, at the penitentiary, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I was a correctional officer. So I was transitioning from San Antonio area to the Houston area. So basically coming from the little country town to another country town, okay? And no, San Antonio's not country, Houston not either, but I'm talking about I was working on the outskirts of what the penitentiaries are. And I needed to know where I was going to be living at, but I didn't know what prison they was going to send me to. I didn't know if they were going to have me working in Huntsville, which is north of Houston, or Rosharon, which is south of Houston. So I asked her, can I just stay with you until I find out exactly where I'm going to be going? And she said, okay, that's fine. I said, but how much do you want for rent? Because I know I'm not going to stay with you for free. Matter of fact, I always offer when I'm staying with someone. If I'm staying with anyone, I do not believe in not paying. I believe in you pay where you lay. That's why I believe in. So we agreed on an amount. So I paid her every single month like clockwork, sometime even early. Never missed a payment with her. And oh my goodness, I'm telling you. So she moves in her children's dad. And her children's dad brother. And I was so uncomfortable with that because of the fact that he liked me, and I knew he liked me because he had tried me before. And I think I told y'all this story. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I'm telling you anyway. So he tried me. And when he tried me during the time when we was just visiting, he was just visiting, I was like, no, this ain't gonna work out or whatever. This ain't gonna work. That's my thought. So when he came to move in, I was like, oh no, why is he here? Because he was married. He had a wife. Well, she told me his wife and him was going through separation and he needed a place to stay. I'm like, well, why don't he go stay with his brother? His brother got his own place. So I don't know the true reason why he didn't go over there, but it turned out to be a bad decision. What made the decision bad was okay. We all had a mutual friend who had a birthday, and he was throwing his birthday party at a club. And I didn't like this particular club, did not care for it at all. But I was like, okay, for him, I go. Only for him, but I'm not going to stay long. And on top of that, I'm not really going to drink. So before I got to the club, I had 2 glasses of Moscato wine. And I knew that I was going to be cool. At least I thought I was. I'm going to be just right in my mind. Because I don't get tipsy or drunk off of wine. I keep my head level. And matter of fact, wine just relaxes me. That's actually what it does. It makes me mellow and smooth and ready to just chill, you know. And when I got to this club, one of the guys came to one of our mutual friends, because there was a bunch of people there and a bunch of people I knew, came to me and he was like, hey, you want a drink? And I was like, well, not really, but I'll take another Moscato. I'll take a Moscato, you know. And he's like, a Moscato? I say, yeah. He's like, you don't even drink Moscato at the club. What's that about? I said, well, you know, I'm at a spot that I don't like. I didn't like that club because every time I come to that club, something happens. You know, I either had this guy following me. It's like somebody following me around. I had one guy grab me by my boobs or my breasts. I mean, got a big handful too. I mean, one guy stood by the bathroom while I was using the restroom. He would come out when I come out the restroom. He just followed. Oh, it was some creepy stuff. I didn't like it. So I was like, every time I come to this spot, there's always somebody harassing me. I don't like it. So he was like, all right, cool. So I went to the bathroom and I say, hey, when I come back out, I'll get the drink. And I went to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for about 40 minutes to an hour. I was on the phone talking to somebody. I was on the phone talking to one of my guy friends that I liked. And I was trying to hook up with him and everything that night. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to come over your house and all this stuff. That kind of conversation, okay? And when I came back out of the restroom, I was handed my drink. I don't even remember who gave me my drink. I cannot remember who it was that handed my drink to me. I just know I grabbed the drink and I drank it. That was the wrong move. I should have never drank that drink because that's when the trouble started right there. I kid you not even probably 10 minutes into after I drank that drink, I started feeling funny. I couldn't really walk. I couldn't stand straight. I was wobbling. I was feeling dizzy. I felt like the room was spinning in circles. And I said, wait a minute. And I said this out loud. I said, somebody put something in my drink and I am pissed. I don't know what it is, but this is not right because I'll never get drunk off of Moscato. And for this to happen, someone did something. So I ended up leaning against the guy that was staying with us. And I wrap my arm around him and I say, hey, I need you to take me to my car because I got to go home. I need you to take me home. And I was telling my so-called friend, the female that I was staying with, I said, girl, there's something that's wrong with me. I need y'all to take me home. And she's like, okay, cool. So we get in the car. I get it. And it's my car that they're driving. Keep in mind, he gets in the driver's seat. She in the passenger seat, and I'm laying out, stretched out in the back seat. As we drive, I pass out. And then when I did wake up, I woke up, they were still driving driving around, just going from place to place. I'm like, why in the world are we still driving? I tell them we should have been at the house by now. And then I pass out again. And I'm literally fighting this drug. I'm fighting it. I'm trying to keep myself awake. And I have a pretty high tolerance for certain things, but this particular thing was knocking me on my tail. So they end up saying, let's go to Denny's. That's what they say. Let's go to Denny's. Let's go eat. Let's go get some breakfast. I was like, what? Maybe you'll feel better if you get some breakfast. Because they, I guess, notice that I'm not staying knocked the fuck out. I mean, for real. They're noticing I'm not staying knocked out. I'm up and I'm down. I'm up and I'm down. I'm up and I'm down. So I decided, okay, I'll go. So we get to Denny's. Immediately when I got through the door, I went to the bathroom and I was throwing up. I threw up and I threw up and I threw up some more. Then I threw up some more. And I thought my guts was going to come out. And then I ended up going to the table finally. And the waitress came to me. Everybody else already had their food already. And she was like, you want anything? I'm like, you know what? No, I can't eat. No. So I'm just ready to go to the house now. I'm ready to go lay down. I thought I was feeling better. Get to the house. And I get in the bed. And I pass out. So all of a sudden I felt someone touching on me. And I'm thinking like, why do I feel like I'm being touched and groped and everything? And I really was. And when I got up, I realized that I was being taken advantage of. So, I did not hesitate. And I think I'm pretty sure I told you guys this story already, but I just want to make sure that I repeat it, because I want to give you an opportunity to hear this in a different way. So if I have told you this story, please forgive me for repeating it, but I have to tell it in a different way of exactly to give you the understanding of what I mean by letting people go. So, as I was waking up and I felt his hands all over me, and I touched myself and I noticed that my pants, I didn't have nothing on, my bottoms, I didn't have nothing on. I had my top on, but I didn't have my bottoms on. And I never took off my clothes, by the way. When I got into bed, I was still in my club clothes. And I was like, what the hell? And he was on top of me trying to penetrate me. He didn't get to, because by the time that I fully woke up, he was almost, and I grabbed him by his penis and I squeezed as hard as I could, and I started yanking that mug and yanking, trying to pull it off his body. And he started yelling and screaming. And from that point on, I want to get more into it, but I'm not going to say the whole thing. All I know is that she came home. You probably say, what? She came home? Yeah, she left me in the house with that dude by myself, knowing that I was in that condition. A real friend wouldn't have done that, but she did. And then pretended like she didn't know nothing. Like she didn't have no clue. And I should have known right then and there that this girl didn't care about me. But I was in denial. And I allowed things to continue on. And when I realized it was time for me to go, yeah, I packed my stuff and I moved out. And I ended up moving into a hotel. I stayed in a hotel for 2 years before I got my own place. I sure did. Not because I couldn't afford my own place, but because I started being pampered at the hotel. I got anything I wanted. That hotel was nice. And I got anything I wanted. I mean, from room service to them cleaning my room. I didn't have to clean. Oh, man. who wouldn't want to live in a hotel if you can? And look at me now. I'm living in a hotel for a living, for work. So, anyways, I reached back out to her. See how long? I think a year, 2 years. No, 2 years had passed. That's right. 2 years had passed. And I reached back out to her, thinking that maybe we could sit down and talk and have a conversation. That was a bad idea. I should have left her where she was. I really should have. Because she was in a bad situation. Her situation went downhill from there. Everything about what was going on with her was plumbing down. I mean, she reaped what she sowed. That's all I'm going to say. She was reaping it. But I felt sorry for her and I wanted to help her. So I allowed her to move in with me. By this time, I had my own place. When I reached back out to her, by this time, I had my own place. I had a 2-bedroom, and it was just me. And I allowed her to stay in that room, but I expected her to pay me rent. She didn't want to do that. Oh, no. She was lying to me, telling me that she had a place and everything, that they was getting it ready. And when... The story she gave me was that she was moving into her own place within 2 because she was living with somebody, and she was like, I'm moving in my own place in 2 weeks. And that's what made me feel sorry for, like, well, hey, well, you can come stay over here until your place is ready. Well, 2 weeks turned into 5 months. I'm gonna tell you that now. And she get mad at me because I told her, you're gonna have to pay me rent. Like, girl, I paid you rent, you gonna have to pay me rent. She didn't want to do that. And then she started having people come over my house that I didn't want there. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. You now already had one person come to your house who damn near raped me. We ain't doing that. And she got mad. To this day, it is going on, how long? I think 11 years, maybe 12 years since I talked to her. Because that was the end of the friendship. I've seen her, and you would not believe it, though. The girl stays across the street from me. I found that out through her children's dad. He was on one of my flights, and he said, you know, she lived across the street in those apartments from you. And I was like, what? He said, yeah. And then my son go running over there to one of his friends' house, and I went over to go get him, and I saw her at the mailbox. And I say, boy, it's a small world. But she acted like she didn't see me. She turned her head like she didn't see me. And at first I was going to let her get away with it, but I have a problem with people ignoring me. I think I told you this already. Don't ignore me, because I'm going to show you that don't ignore me, you know. And she turned her head, act like she didn't see me, and I say, hey, and I call her by her name. I say, hey, I know you see me. And she was like, hey. I say, how you doing? I'm loud. And she was like, I'm good. I say, you look good. You know, I'm trying to, let her know, girl, I'm not mad at you no more. It's been 12 years. I don't hold on to grudges, but I know not to let certain people in my life anymore. Look, I'm married, during that time I was single. I would not let no one come in and mess up what I got going on in my life. But don't be afraid. Seriously, do not be afraid to allow someone to move on. If they need to fall off, let them go. So taking yourself seriously isn't just about self-love. It's about self-leadership. Who are you going to lead if you can't even lead yourself? So when you are leading yourself well and well enough, others can help, and they can't mess up what you got going on. What they can do is accept it and respect it. And they can't help but to respect your journey. So many people will see you and be like, man, I admire you. I admire how you doing your thing. I have people tell me often how much they admire my growth and my ability to separate myself from foolery and not be sucked into situations and everything. And that's because I take myself seriously. I am serious about me. You don't have to take me seriously, but I also don't have to deal with you. So what you want to make sure is that you respect yourself, keep your own promises, Learn to love yourself so that if today's episode, Improving Your Thoughts by Freeing Yourself, did not speak to you, I hope that you'll listen to it again another day and maybe it'll speak to you then, okay? So don't just listen to this podcast one time. Listen to it multiple times. That way you can get some clarity on how to respect yourself, how to treat yourself, and put yourself first. If this episode helped you in any kind of way, please share it with someone else who is needing it. So until next time, keep growing, keep loving yourself, and keep choosing yourself first. Loving yourself and self-care is not selfish. It is called self-leadership. I'm signing out. Alayla Carroll. Holla! Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.